Who's editing this piece of crap?
Me.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the InSide, a podcast where we get into the extraordinary minds and experiences of everyday people. I'm Jay, and with me, as always, is Adam. Hey, Adam. How's it going, eh?
Pretty good, man. Just been working all day, partying all night, always the life of a college student. I'm just kidding. I'm not a big party guy. But,
I thought that was a Kiss song quote. But
yeah.
That's rocking. Yeah. You don't
Anyway, all's well here. What about you? What have you been up to?
I've actually been doing a lot of drawing, like pencil drawings, and attempting some watercolor painting with my daughter.
Attempting?
Yeah, I'm actually do pretty well with drawing, but watercolors, it's hard. And she's actually really good at it, but I'm maybe on the lower end of mediocre.
Yeah, well, I didn't really know you were into watercolor that much. I'm sure it's like a lot harder than it's made out to be.
Well, it is, but there's probably a lot that you don't really know about me. But now that we're doing this podcast together, maybe we should just go ahead and do a short little episode about who we are and what we're into and stuff.
Yeah, like how old you are?
Oh, you had to go there, didn't you, man?
Yeah, I had to.
Well, because I know I sound a lot younger than you.
Oh, yeah. Sure.
Well, I think we should just take some time today and just maybe do like a get to know your host special.
Yeah, how about this? Let's take a quick break, maybe shine some shoes, and then get ready to listen to how old you are.
Yeah, I'm going to go pet a kitten.
All right. So, Jay, right now, as we all know, you live in Cullowhee, but you're not originally from here, are you?
I am not.
Well, where did you grow up, and what was it like living there?
I grew up on the east coast of Florida, a place called Merritt Island. It's about an hour south of Daytona Beach. And during that time, it was the 70s was like when I was like a real like in kid zone, and so it really was like what you see on TV or like some of the 80s movies like Stranger Things or Super 8 is a really great one if you've not seen that.
No parental supervision?
There were some, but there was a lot of freedom to like go around. Like it was me and a bunch of other boys on this street, and we all had bikes and played late until the night. And when it was time for dinner, my dad would come out and like whistle really loud, and wherever I was, I'd hear it, and I'd like come home, or we'd go out and collect. Like at that point, soda bottles had a deposit, and you like go out and search for those all over the neighborhood so that you could like turn them in and buy another soda, or Halloween. Man, we're all over the whole subdivision, just us, and it was a great childhood. And so
obviously you didn't want to work down there at the Space Center or in Florida, really, did you?
No, my family had a business there that I probably could have gotten into, but it wasn't for me. So no.
Well, what was for you? What are you doing for a living now? And how'd that get started?
Yeah. So I started out, I went to community college, then I finished up at Georgia Southern University with a bachelor's degree in recreational therapy and a master's of health administration. So you can tell that I thought I was going to work in healthcare for a long time. And I did work as a therapist for about 5 years. But eventually we moved to a place where I wasn't finding employment. And long story short, I ended up working for the Methodist Church, and I had never planned or prepared to do that. And that was when we, at this point I was married and we were living in Athens, Ohio. And that was 2003. And I had been working in campus ministry for the Methodist Church since 2003. Um, it's a long story, but
We
that
can
would
get into that on
that
the Jay Hinton special
yeah
episode where we
that
just dive into you.
yeah yeah. Don't
But you
listen in.
didn't. You didn't. You weren't nervous, or you didn't have any like regrets about leaving the healthcare industry, because I can tell right now you're very content with where you are. But is there anything else besides that? Some major milestones that you'll never really regret in your life?
Well, starting this podcast for sure. That's
Yeah, mine's the same answer for that too.
yeah. I think the answer for this, if you're asked that, you feel like you have to come up with something that's really epic. But these things
Mm.
are more regular things that have helped shape who I am. Like the the career I'm in. Like I'll never regret that, because it's helped me to know people in such a meaningful way that has changed my life. There's been some adventure races that I've been in that we just always talk about them. Being involved with soccer as a young person and in college and with my son, and just the relationships that's helped me create with people across the world, even people like I couldn't even speak with, but we both spoke soccer and we could play in other countries and stuff. Like that's been a major blessing for me. And then just, I think having people in my life that make me want to be a better human. Like, some of these, again, it's kind of obvious stuff people would say, but like my wife, because she's way smarter and better than me in like every way. And like really, and my kids who like, they make me want to live a better, less selfish life. Like those are all things that like I could never regret, you know?
Yeah, for sure. That was a really sweet answer. But on the
Uh,
other side of the scale, is there anything that you would ever want to have a do-over for in your
mm,
life?
I think do-overs are hard because do-overs, really things that we would say are as a do-over are actually the things that make us like give us character.
Who we are?
Yeah. It just builds your character a ton. But there was one time when I was a senior in high school. My high school was a 4-year high school, and I had been a varsity soccer player all 4 years. But when towards the end of my season, the senior season, me and my friend got kicked off the team, and we missed the opportunity to go to the state playoffs where our team took third that year in state. And so not being part of that was something that hurt me for a long time. Not that I'm really hanging on to my high school stuff because it was so long ago. Um, but I think probably more generally, just the times that I've treated people badly. There's times that I was doing things that were for selfish reasons. Um, I'd love to do over all those.
Yeah, well, that's a really noble answer, and I think everyone kind of wishes they could have a do-over for stuff like that. I know there's some stuff I've done that I really, now that you mention it, wish I could have a do-over for. But
Yeah.
is there anyone that you, through all this stuff, that you looked up to? Like, who's your hero? Is where I'm going with that.
Yeah, I don't really have a person, but I would say people who work hard to make others people's lives better are people I really look up to, because these are always people who work hard in a local setting and they don't have enough support or money, but they believe in a cause that's making other lives better. Um, and I would say really for me, Jesus is a hero for me, and
Nice.
that's not like a real religious-y answer because I don't consider myself really a religious person, super religious. But if you go and just read at what he did and what he was teaching, it's amazing. But again, it's about people, putting people first, you know. And then, I could go off like musically. There's people like BB King and Chuck Berry and like the '70s guitar rock gods and our friend Keith Richards.
Yeah.
Uh, people like that made music better. That like music that really like touches your soul. There's a lot of people from the soccer community and even this like the sport of soccer is a hero for me because it transcends cultures, and it doesn't matter if you're rich or you're poor or where you're from or anything. It's a very unifying thing. So that's something that would be like a hero to me also.
Well, shifting gears a little bit, what is something you remember when we first met? Like something you remember about us, like our relationship together pre the inside.
Yeah, I knew you were going to have to work yourself into my questions.
Oh yeah, sorry. I'm just that selfish.
I mean, I'm not coming right out and saying it, but if the shoe fits. Really, there are a lot of things I could say here, but we've talked about this before. I remember like when I first met you, and that was at a big event out at the university, and I was really impressed with the conversation that you and I had, because usually when I'm meeting students at that type of an event, it's not a very good conversation, and that's
one word answers.
Yeah, and that's not a dig at other students, but you stayed and talked, and you're like, were asking me all these questions and stuff that I've never had before. So that stuck with me. I remember one of the first weeks we took people on a tubing trip to the local tubing trip, and I asked you to make a video of it because you had a GoPro or something, and because we were going to use that later, like, hey, look at everybody, look at you tubing and stuff. But I don't think I ever got the finished video from you, although you did make it. I do remember seeing it.
Yeah, I made it. It was really bad. I'm not too disappointed it didn't get made.
and we used the Talking Heads song, right?
Take Me to the River.
Yeah.
And it was so bad because I played Talking Heads Take Me to the River, and the video finished right as he's starting to say, take me to the river.
Yeah. You never got to the river part.
Exactly.
on the river video.
All right. Well, this next section.
Wait, I got two more things.
Oh, okay. Yeah, two more things.
I remember when we made the Christmas video that we thought was so funny, and it had so many sub stories and stuff going on. It was super complicated. It's like
15 minutes long.
We spent all this time writing the script and everything, and I'm not sure that the actual product was really that good.
It wasn't.
But we had a ton of fun making it. And then also, lastly, I remember that I was really impressed that you knew who Bob and Doug McKenzie are. And Bob and Doug McKenzie are some people that we talk about probably every week.
Hey, don't if they know, they know.
Yeah, I think. Well, I just want to encourage people who are listening to go on your Spotify and type in Bob and Doug McKenzie. They have a comedy album, and the reason I did. The thing is that's a total '80s thing, right? It was very popular in the '80s when I was a teenager, and then here comes this guy, way later, who know this obscure Bob and Doug McKenzie thing. Yeah.
Well, I got one more thing for you. Okay.
Okay.
So shout out to Ashley Karras, who was a guest on this show, for helping us come up with this idea. But it's basically, I'm going to ask you 5 questions. Okay. And you have to answer just right away off the top of your head. Alrighty?
So like a lightning round?
Yeah, like a lightning round. Exactly.
Okay. I'll try.
Ready?
Yeah.
All right. Cake or pie?
Pie.
Netflix or Amazon Prime?
Netflix.
Invisibility or super strength?
Oh, invisibility.
All right. Football or football?
Football.
All right. And toilet paper or bidet?
I'd like to try bidet. Currently paper.
Okay. Well, that's it I got for you today. You want to switch it up?
Yeah. Why don't we take a minute and clip some toenails or something?
Go try out the bidet.
Yeah. See if we can find the bidet and take a quick break and come back, and we'll get to your stuff.
All right. Wow,
Adam, that was little tougher than I thought it was going to be.
Now it's time for the shoe to go on the other foot.
Yeah, get ready. Get
I'm
ready,
ready.
man. So I'm going to ask you the same first question. Where did you grow up, and what was that like?
So I grew up in Raleigh, North Carolina. Besides going off to college at Western, this is where I've lived my entire life. It's been a really good city for me to grow up in. I've gotten a really good education. I was fortunate for that here in Raleigh. Made a bunch of lifelong friends that I still see. And selfishly speaking, a lot of concerts and stuff come through Raleigh. So that's always just an added bonus. But I mean, Raleigh specifically, to when I grew up, I was born in the year 2000, which was the same year that Jay turned 60. Growing up in the mid 2000s was a lot like most medium-sized cities, although none of them were as cool as Raleigh. But the coolest part about growing up in this area during this time was what I'm going to call growing up through the birth of the internet. I mean, it came out a couple of years before I was born, but really it kind of took off mainstream.
Yeah, it was pretty crappy. It was pretty crappy those first several years. Sorry to, yeah.
No, yeah. So, well, I'm 20 right now. So when I was growing up, all this technology unfolded. Like in elementary school, the teacher was talking about this thing called an iPhone, and none of us had ever heard of it or knew what it was. Or we're like, what's the point of having a phone that you can touch? Like, that's so pointless. Like, these BlackBerries are going to be around forever, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So there was talk about, and because of all this, like, people really embrace technology. There are and to this day, no real regulations on all this technology and the smartphone industry, which caught on in middle school and high school. And you just kind of got to see a lot of people get sucked into these things, and this big push throughout the school system and the workforce to get everything technology oriented, which right now we're starting to see really the value of human connections and face-to-face, and that online isn't necessarily always the best option for this kind of stuff. But back to Raleigh specifically, we do have one of the best annual bluegrass festivals that I would encourage all of you to check out. I got to see that growing up. And it was a pretty progressive city, which was nice because I'm a big believer that your environment does help define who you are. And so I was really fortunate that Raleigh gave me a lot of different cultures and backgrounds and different people that were different from my own, that taught me like a more accepting, wide range view of other people and how you can coexist and stuff like that. So overall, I loved it. Really good blend of country and city, and I'm happy where I am because of all that.
So this goes back a little bit to what we talked about in the other segment, but I think you might have another perspective here. But how did we meet?
So this is your selfish question?
Yeah.
So we met at a campus ministry organization where I attend and you work, and you're just stuck with me for another couple of years.
Mm-hmm.
I showed up, start of freshman year, thanks to my good friend, shout out to Zach Georgopoulos, who told me about this and convinced me to go the first time ever. And it was just, I really liked the culture that was there. And then you came along.
Spoiled it.
Yeah, you kind of, no, I'm just kidding. But for real though, I really loved what you and everyone else that works there has really built, like the community around it and what you guys stand for. And it just really, really helped me out with the transition to college. It really kind of saved me up there at Western for when I got there. I was not having a good time, and then you were super nice to me, and then we started talking more and more and realized that we had a lot in common. And as one thing led to another, we decided we got enough in common to make a podcast together.
Yeah. And what you're saying too goes to show all of us like how important maybe not first impressions are, but just how you treat people when you're meeting them and stuff. You never know what's going to come out of that. And it's been a invaluable friendship for me also.
I can put a value on it right now. $6.
I was thinking $2.95, so I'm pretty glad. $6 is up there. So you're here, not physically right now, but you're a student at Western Carolina University. why? Why are you here? And what are you studying?
So I'm studying natural resource management. The reason I went to Western Carolina, it's very complex. The reason I went there is because I did not get into NC State University. That was the driving force behind my original attendance to Western Carolina. But shout out to a professor that used to work here at Trip Krenz for selling me on Western Carolina's program. We met at a big event, and he just really sold me on it. But selfishly speaking, the natural resource management has some of the best job security around. I mean, there's always going to be some natural resources to manage. I'd hopefully, if there's a utopia that happens, my job will become obsolete. But for the foreseeable future, natural resource management is something very key to the next couple decades. And unselfishly speaking, it's kind of my way of doing my part to keep the world spinning and stuff like that. But for the first part of your question, what brought me to Western or what kept me at Western?
Yeah, I was saying, why did you choose Western?
What brought me to Western Carolina was a nice GPA for North Carolina State University, NC State University transfer application, because this was a short-term goal for me. I was one and done was my original plan for Western Carolina.
One semester?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, one and done. Basically, my ticket into NCSU was what this was supposed to become.
Mm-hmm.
But why I stayed at Western was I really loved the class sizes. They're about 20 a piece, and like NC State, which has about 450 a piece starting out. And like I mentioned earlier, Trip Krenz, a professor that used to work there, you get to develop these relationships with your professors because the classes are manageable and they really get to spend one-on-one time with you. And then the thing that's kept me going along throughout this whole time I've been at the school, the Wesley Foundation, which is where I met Jay. And so that's really was the cornerstone of what kept me at Western Carolina throughout my years there, and continues to be the cornerstone as we move ahead.
I'll give you the $5 later
for plugging your job.
Yeah. So I'm just going to skip around here a little bit because we're talking about this place now,
mm-hmm.
And where you're in school. But when that's over, where's a place you'd want to live, and why?
For a couple of years, probably the triangle of North Carolina, which is Raleigh, Durham, Chapel Hill. But one place I might want to just do for like 6 months or something like that would be Germany. I took German in high school for 3 years. Don't really remember a lot of it, but the culture was really cool. We did a lot of cultural research in that class. They have a really stable economy, fantastic infrastructure. The food there looks delicious. Everyone seems pretty nice. Tolerance is a big thing over there that's amazing. And because they're part of the EU, you would have pretty much access to travel around Europe.
Yeah, I've been to Germany twice and Austria once, and they're amazing countries. I really wanted to go back, and we did a lot of train travel there. The trains are so nice and comfortable, and you can get on and just read or do whatever you're doing while you're going where you need to go. Like you're saying with the infrastructure, it's really great. I want to ask you a couple more things real quick here.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any accomplishments as a kid or even as an older guy that you're like, hey, I wish people knew that? I'm proud of that.
So I got going off the Steep Canyon Rangers thing. One of my big childhood accomplishments was in 7th grade. I was in a ska band called Chicken Fried Rice. And we made the middle school talent show. We were super impressed. We auditioned and we were the opening act for the middle school talent show.
Really?
We practiced in the drummer's, his house had a bomb shelter because it was built in the 60s. So we practiced in a bomb shelter, which gives the worst acoustics in the world. And then they pumped out all this fog when we played, and it was really low end fog. And since I played trumpet for it, I had taken a lot of oxygen to play, and the fog they did gave us all diarrhea. So we got off the stage and we all like run to the bathroom. But it was a great time learning. It was really my first experience learning how to be a part of a team to work toward a common goal. And we had a lot of fun. And a side note behind the logo we drew up was it's spelled chicken Fryed, because I was the one in 7th grade that designed the logo, and they thought it was cool because it was like edgy and different. But I just misspelled fried by accident because my spelling wasn't the best and still continues to not be the best. But
please tell me there's video of that performance.
There is one out there. I'm not going to give the link for it, but there is footage out there of the middle school talent show of us doing that.
Oh my god!
But then later on in life, off that same thread of team goal, working towards something, was I earned the rank of Eagle Scout through the Boy Scouts of America, which was this 8-year process. I had some lifelong friends through that I still hang out with, and it taught me basically all the leadership and outdoor skills I know that I'll take with me for life.
Well done, man. Are you ready for your lightning round?
Yeah, man.
Okay. Start the clock. Here we go. Half full or half empty?
Full.
Cave hike or summit hike?
Summit hike.
Invisibility or super strength?
Invisibility, because then you can just steal the serum for super strength if you're invisible. So you can eat both.
Shaved or natural? We're talking face
yeah.
here. Okay, just to be clear, faces. And 2 pet peeves.
2 pet peeves is when someone tries to make a contribution but not put in the effort. They just give you suggestion on what you should be doing differently. And then when someone changes a song in my car and it's my car and my playlist and I'm the one driving. And
like the song's going and they just haven't even asked you.
They just like skip.
Oh. I know. Oh, all right, man. Well, that was fun. I learned a lot more about you.
That was fun. Yeah, me too.
I'm not sure that I like it, but I learned it.
Yeah, the dark underbelly rises.
All the old man jokes got old. Okay.
Yeah. Well, that was really fun today. How about this? How about we take a quick break and then we'll do a recap and sign off?
Yep. Sounds great, man.
Well, dang, Jay. I thought I knew you pretty well, but you threw me for a couple curveballs today on your interview. Like when you were talking about your do-over was really what stuck with me. I would have never thought to, like, as my do-over, it was going to be reaching out to people that you had mistreated in the past. That's really humbling to hear, and I really, really admired it.
Yeah, I learned something from that. Yeah, man, I really enjoyed, again, just to kind of repeat what you said, you always think you know a lot about somebody when you spend a lot of time with them, but then there's always some really cool stuff that comes out from asking questions and just learning more about that person. So that was fun.
Yeah, it was fun. Well, I think that's it today. That was the InSide. Special thanks to our guest, I guess ourselves.
Us.
Yeah, special thanks to our guest, us, and our producer, Dave. This show was written, recorded, edited, and co-produced by Jay and myself. Our title music, Crossroads, was written by Rock Sounds. We'll have a link in the show description. Our title music was written and performed by Keith Richards. We'll have more episodes coming soon, so make sure to listen to us wherever you get your podcasts. Follow us on Instagram at The Inside Podcasters, or send us an email to theinsidepodcasters@gmail.com.
Oh, wait. No, don't. I clicked on something that's like end meeting for everyone.
No!
Yes, cancel.
Really a one shot of this.
Leave meeting now.
Yeah. Get me out of here.